you know what your problem is? You're too smart. You overthink every move you make. You analyze, calculate, and question yourself so much that by the time you're ready to act, the moment is gone. You replay scenarios in your head, trying to predict every possible outcome, and in the process, you paralyze yourself. But let me tell you something. You are powerful. You are not someone who gives up easily. You have dreams, ambition, and deep inside, you know you are capable of more. But something keeps stopping you. And it's not because you lack talent. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you don't trust yourself enough to take the leap. You're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of you. But let me ask you this. What if that perfect moment never comes? What if all this waiting, all this overthinking, is the very thing keeping you from the success you dream of? Because here's the truth. Success doesn't happen in your head. It happens when you take action. It happens when you stop doubting yourself, stop fearing failure, and start moving, even when you don't feel ready. The reason you fail to succeed isn't because you aren't capable. It's because of invisible barriers you've built in your own mind. So today, we are breaking those barriers. Let's talk about why you keep holding yourself back, so you can finally stop thinking about success and start living it. You know what's crazy? You trust other people's opinions more than your own. Think about it. How many times have you had an idea, a plan, or a gut feeling, but before you act, you need someone else to validate it? You hesitate, you ask around, you wait for someone to say, yes, that's a great idea, before you feel confident enough to move forward. But what happens when no one gives you that validation? You start doubting yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I should wait, maybe I'm not ready. And just like that, you kill your own momentum before you even start. But let me tell you something. Successful people don't wait for permission. They don't need someone else to tell them what they already know. They trust themselves enough to act, even when no one else believes in them. And here's the truth. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. Think about all the challenges you've already overcome in your life. Times when you had no idea what to do, but you figured it out anyway. You adapted, you grew, you made things work. So why do you still doubt yourself now? Because you've been conditioned to. From a young age, you were taught to listen to authority, to follow the rules, to seek approval before making decisions. And now, as an adult, that habit is crippling your ability to trust yourself. But guess what? The people you admire, the ones who seem fearless, successful, unstoppable, they don't have anything you don't have. The only difference? They believe in themselves even when the path isn't clear, even when they don't have all the answers, even when they fail. They trust that they'll figure it out along the way, and that's exactly what you need to start doing. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. You can either keep waiting for external validation, for the perfect moment, for the fear to go away, or you can say, enough. I trust myself. I'm ready. Because the truth is, the longer you wait to believe in yourself, the longer you delay your own success. And here's the best part. Self-trust is a skill you can build. Every time you make a decision without overthinking it, every time you follow through on something you say you'll do, every time you bet on yourself, you strengthen that trust. So stop looking for guarantees. Stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're good enough. You already are. And once you start believing that, everything will change. But if you don't, if you keep doubting, overanalyzing, waiting, then the next thing that will take over your mind is the one thing that has killed more dreams than anything else. You know what's exhausting? Living inside your own head. You think so much about your next move that you end up making none. You analyze every possibility, consider every outcome, and try to predict every little detail before you take action. And what happens? You overwhelm yourself. You get stuck in a cycle of what ifs and maybe I should wait. And let me ask you this. How many times has overthinking actually helped you? Has it ever made you feel more confident, more ready, more successful? Or has it just kept you paralyzed, watching opportunities pass you by because you were too busy trying to figure everything out first. Because here's the truth. Thinking won't get you where you want to be. Only action will. But I get it. You think if you plan enough, if you prepare enough, you can eliminate the risk of failure. But let me tell you something powerful. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about moving forward despite it. The most successful people in the world, they take action first and figure things out as they go. They don't know all the answers when they start. They don't have it all planned out perfectly. They make mistakes, they fall down, but they get back up, adjust, and keep moving. And that's what you need to start doing. Because overthinking is just fear in disguise. You tell yourself you're analyzing, preparing, waiting for the right time. But deep down, what you're really doing is avoiding risk. And the worst part? While you're overthinking, someone else is already doing the thing you're afraid to start. They're making moves. They're learning through experience. They're building momentum. And guess what? That's why they're getting ahead. Not because they're smarter, not because they're luckier, but because they just started. So let me ask you this. What's stopping you from taking action right now? Is it fear of failing? Is it waiting for the perfect plan? Is it worrying about what people will think? Because whatever it is, it's an illusion. No matter how much you think about it, you will never feel 100% ready. But that's the secret. You don't need to be ready. You just need to start. And I know what you're thinking, but what if I fail? And that, my friend, is exactly what we need to talk about next. Because if overthinking is the dream killer, then fear of failure is the prison that keeps you trapped inside your comfort zone. Let's be real. You're afraid to fail. And I get it. Failure feels embarrassing. It feels like proof that you weren't good enough, that you didn't have what it takes. It makes you wonder what people will say, how they'll look at you, if they'll judge you for trying and not succeeding. So what do? You play it safe. You avoid risks. You stick to what feels comfortable, because at least that way you won't have to deal with failure. But let me tell you something that might change everything for you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Let that sink in. Every person who has ever won big, built something great, or changed their life for the better has failed over and over again. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan didn't even make his high school basketball team. Did they quit? No. Did they let failure define them? No, because they understood something you need to understand right now. Failure is not a dead end. It's feedback. It's the universe saying, not this way. Try again. And when you start seeing failure like that, as information, as a teacher, as a stepping stone, then suddenly it's not scary anymore. Because here's what's actually scary. Living your whole life afraid to fail and realizing years from now that you never really tried. You want success? You have to be willing to look stupid. You have to be okay with messing up, getting rejected, and making mistakes. Because every failure brings you one step closer to getting it right. Now here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they try and mess up. Most people fail because they never try at all. And if you keep letting the fear of failure control you, guess what? You'll never actually fail, but you'll never actually succeed either. So stop trying to avoid failure. Start embracing it, because every time you fail, you learn. Every time you learn, you grow. And every time you grow, you get closer to success. But here's the catch. You can't just sit there and hope fear will go away. It won't. You have to act despite it. And that's where most people mess up. They don't just fear failure. They fear the discomfort that comes with stepping outside their comfort zone. And if that's something holding you back, then that's exactly what we need to talk about next. Because success isn't comfortable, growth isn't comfortable, but neither is staying stuck. So let's break that next barrier. Think about it. You stay in your comfort zone because you don't want to feel stressed, right? You don't want the pressure, the struggle, the challenge. But what happens instead? You end up feeling stressed anyway. Stressed because deep inside, you know you're capable of more, but you're not doing anything about it. Stressed because time is passing and nothing is changing. So let me ask you again, is your comfort zone really that comfortable? Or is it just a prison disguised as safety? Because here's what successful people understand. Discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're growing. The people who achieve their dreams, they aren't fearless, they aren't special. They just get comfortable being uncomfortable. They embrace the awkwardness of learning new things. They push through the frustration of not being good at something yet. They accept that pain, uncertainty, and struggle are the price of progress. And because of that, they evolve. Meanwhile, the people who refuse to step out of their comfort zone, they stay the same. They watch others grow, wondering why they're still stuck, never realizing they are the ones choosing it. So, I need you to hear this. You can either choose temporary discomfort and permanent success, or temporary comfort and permanent regret. Which one are you going to pick? Because the truth is, your environment plays a huge role in this. If you're surrounded by people who also choose comfort over growth, guess what? You'll do the same. And that's why, if you really want to succeed, you need to start paying attention to who you surround yourself with. Because if you're around people who hold themselves back, doubt themselves, and make excuses, it's only a matter of time before you do too. And that's exactly what we need to talk about next. Let's break down the power of your environment and why it might be the silent force keeping you from success. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you told someone about a big goal or dream, something you were excited about, only for them to respond with doubt? Maybe they laughed. Maybe they told you to be realistic. Maybe they hit you with a casual, "That's not gonna work," or "People like us don't do things like that." And in that moment, a small part of you started to believe them. Because here's what you don't realize. Your environment is shaping you more than you think. If you're constantly surrounded by people who doubt themselves, who settle for less, who make excuses, you will unconsciously start doing the same. Not because you're weak, not because you're not capable, but because humans adapt to the energy around them. And the wrong environment will drain your ambition before you even realize it. But here's the thing. You don't need a bunch of negative, toxic people around you to be held back. Sometimes, the people in your life aren't bad people at all. They're just comfortable. They've accepted a life of playing small, and because they don't push themselves, they won't push you either. They won't challenge you. They won't inspire you to go further. They won't remind you of what you're truly capable of. And that's dangerous, because the truth is, you become like the people you spend the most time with. Are you going to let the people around you pull you back into their comfort zone? Or are you going to step up, create distance where necessary, and start surrounding yourself with people who make you level up? Because here's the reality. Your success is normal to the right people. The right people won't laugh at your big goals. They won't tell you to be realistic. They won't get uncomfortable when you start winning. They will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better. And when you start surrounding yourself with winners, something incredible happens. Success stops feeling like an impossible dream and starts feeling like the standard. So if you're serious about leveling up, it's time to audit your circle. Ask yourself, do the people around me push me forward or hold me back? Are they growing, learning, and striving for more, or just staying the same? Do they make me feel inspired, or do they drain my energy? Because the truth is, you don't need to be the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. You just need to be in an environment that forces you to grow. And if you don't change your environment, if you keep surrounding yourself with the wrong people, then nothing else we've talked about will matter. Because you will always sink to the level of the people around you. So what are you going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the choice to change. And that's what we need to talk about next. Because knowing all of this isn't enough. If you don't take action, nothing changes. So let's talk about what it really takes to break out of this cycle once and for all. All right, you've made it this far. You've seen every reason why you keep failing to succeed. You doubt yourself. You overthink. You let fear control you. You cling to comfort. You stay around people who hold you back. And now, you have a choice to make. You can finish this video, feel inspired for a few minutes, then go right back to your old patterns. Or you can decide, right here, right now, that this is where everything changes. Because here's what you need to understand. Nothing changes until you do. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, take all the courses, but if you don't actually start applying what you've learned, then it's all just mental entertainment. And that's where most people stay. They consume information, they get motivated, they say, that makes so much sense, but when it comes to actually making a move, they freeze. They go right back to waiting for the perfect time, right back to doubting themselves, right back to letting fear make their decisions for them. But I need you to ask yourself, how much longer are you going to let that be your story? Because here's the truth no one tells you. You're not actually afraid of failure. You're afraid of who you will have to become if you succeed. Because success, it requires a different version of you. A version that doesn't waste time overthinking. A version that trusts themselves enough to take the leap. A version that doesn't run from discomfort but embraces it as part of the process. A version that is willing to outgrow people, places, and mindsets that no longer serve them. And becoming that version of yourself, it's uncomfortable, but so is staying the same. So let me ask you, which discomfort are you going to choose? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Because let me tell you something, success is not reserved for the lucky. It's not for the smartest. It's not for the people who had the best starting point. Success is for the people who decide. The ones who say, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm starting anyway. The ones who are willing to fail forward. The ones who stop making excuses and start making moves. And that can be you. In fact, it is you. If you decide that today is the day you stop holding yourself back. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop telling yourself you need more time, more confidence, more information. You don't. You just need to start. And the second you do, everything changes. Now, go make your move.